Today I fucked up by not realizing I didn't have a master's degree. I'm on mobile, so sorry for the formatting. Too long, did not read. At the bottom. This happened yesterday, but I guess the food technically spans approximately 5 years. I finished my master's degree in late 2019, or at least I thought I did. After a grueling year of working part-time and writing my dissertation, at long last I got it finished, presented it in November, got my grade immediately after. My dad was even there to watch the presentation. Good times. Because the holidays were right around the corner, I didn't have my diploma until February 2020 and, well, I think we all know what happened to the world right after. When I got home after getting the diploma, I scanned it so I would have a digital copy to send to employers and stuff, put the physical version safely away, and proceeded to not really think about it anymore. That's where the foo began. To be honest, I didn't even really look at it super carefully. Writing my dissertation was so incredibly exhausting and draining that I was just glad it was over and wanted to focus on my work. Years went by. I got through the pandemic, my career as a freelancer started gaining momentum, I fell in love, even moved to a different country. Recently I changed my name and emailed my university to ask about getting new copies of my diplomas with the new name. Somewhere in one of the replies from the university they asked, "Are you perhaps referring to your specialization diploma? We have no record of you finishing a dissertation, only all the other classes in the master's degree." My heart dropped. I looked at the digital copy I've kept for years, even dug up the physical version just to be sure, and lo and behold. While the diploma does mention the master's degree by its name very early on the middle of the second page it does specify that it's a specialization. I have to admit I panicked. I scoured my old emails for something, anything, that could help me prove that I didn't imagine the whole thing, and wrote back explaining that I did finish my dissertation and asking what can be done to try to understand what actually happened here. They haven't replied yet, hopefully they will in the next few days. I know the professor who was my advisor can vouch for the fact that the presentation did indeed happen, but I'm terrified that, because it's been so long, nothing can really be done about it anymore. I guess time will tell. I honestly feel heartbroken. Thinking that all that hard work could go to waste makes me want to cry. More than anything, I'm furious at myself for not paying more attention and catching this sooner. I feel like such an idiot. Wish me luck figuring this out. Too long, did not read. I thought I finished my master's degree, but the university didn't actually have any record of me finishing my dissertation and only gave me a specialization diploma. I didn't notice for 5 years and have no idea if this can be fixed or if it's too late. Edit. You guys, I found my dissertation in the university's online repository. It was published after all. I'm emailing them again with this information. Hopefully it will be enough proof that this is most likely an administrative error. Tomorrow is a holiday in my home country, so I'm not expecting to hear back from them until Monday, but I will make an update post as soon as I have more news. Also, I understand that in most English-speaking countries you write and defend a thesis for a master's degree, but I'm not from an English-speaking country. In my university they call it a dissertation. I'm sorry that caused some confusion. Bro, what? This is like my worst nightmare. Can you not contact the people who graded it that might remember you? Seems like a massive fuck up on the side of the college. Surely that's something you can fix, lol. I'm lucky to be in the opposite situation. I ended up not turning in my dissertation due to homelessness and mental health issues. Obviously knew I'd failed, felt very sad, but just got on with life. Then my diploma turned up in the mail with my final grades. They'd given me 50% on my dissertation, the exact grade 1 needed for a pass. I think someone just took pity on me. They knew what was going on with me in my personal life because I'd been having therapy through uni and regular meetings with my tutor about everything. That sucks. Can you start assembling grades, emails, assignments? Maybe reach out to your advisor? It was a surprise final test. That's insane. People were there, they watched you defend, you had a committee. Like holy shit, someone in admin fucked up real bad. Today I fucked up by asking what a guy who hates me said about me in a group chat. I, 20F, was hanging out with some of my friends. Namely, one of my friends brought her boyfriend with her. I like the guy, but he definitely doesn't run in the same circles as the rest of us. He was telling us a story involving one of his friends who I happen to have a class with. Let's call this friend Eric. I really don't know the guy, just like I really don't know any of his friends. But I have noticed whenever I was in class with Eric, he seemed to go out of his way to not interact with me. Like not even look at me, even though I sat relatively in his direct line of sight. Even in group discussions he seemed to ignore me or vaguely glare at me. So, naturally I said something like, "OMG dude, Eric hates me for some reason. Is there anything I did to upset him?" And suddenly the boyfriend gets super uncomfortable. And the girlfriend, my friend, kind of starts laughing a bit. She suddenly goes, "Oh, come on, tell her what he said in the group chat." The guy seemed really hesitant to tell me. So I started pressing him a bit because I was worried I had actually screwed up and had something to apologize for, as it seemed to me this random person hated me. I'm also kind of having fun with it. I was kind of thinking, well, what's the worst it could be? I've literally barely spoken to him. Eventually he goes, well, I just don't think he hates you at all. He actually really likes you. Now I was even more confused. So I press again, and he comes out with it. Well, he say, Eric kind of has some strange turn-ons. I obviously immediately start pressing again, because literally WTF, and he goes, Eric has mentioned a few times how you have a huge forehead. You're a part of like a lot of his fantasies because of how big yours is. He says he wants to come all over it. This man I barely know was talking in a group chat with literally dozens of his friends about his fucking forehead kink and my huge fucking forehead. I stopped pressing after that shit, but apparently that wasn't even the worst of it. Learned my lesson, FML. Too long did not read. Friend's boyfriend was in a group chat with a guy the first thought hated me and made clear some shit went down in it. When I pressed the issue, turns out he just wants to fuck me because of my huge ass forehead. Edit. Please stop asking for forehead pics. Loudly crying, loudly crying, loudly crying. Sounds like this relationship might be headed somewhere? I should have just gone to sleep instead of opening Reddit one more time. Time to get bangs so he can't see your huge ass forehead anymore. We gotta see this melon. Oh my god, Becky, look at her forehead, it is so big, She looks like one of those fetish guys' girlfriends, but, you know. Who understands those fetish guys? Ha 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 ha. That's great. Fuck it, just own it. Is he hot? Today I fucked up by accidentally becoming the villain in 40 Kids Morning. I'm a school bus driver and TIFU. This morning, everything felt smooth. I started my route on time, traffic was light, and every stop went off without a hitch. But barely any kids were getting on. It was strange enough that by stop 8, usually one of my busiest, I asked a few of the regulars who usually chat with me, where's everyone today? In my mind, I tried to play it off. Maybe there's a field trip? Maybe school's doing something special today? I convinced myself it wasn't me. Then I got to stop 9, which is always my busiest, and saw kids running for dear life to catch my bus. That's when I finally glanced at my wristwatch. I was 3.5 minutes early. At that point it all hit me at once. I had been early to every stop. My bus clock was running fast, and I hadn't noticed because normally everything just lines up. So I sat there at stop 9 for 3.5 minutes, watching the aftermath of my mistake unfold in real time. After finishing the route and dropping off the kids, I was driving to take my daughter to her school. That's when I saw them. Kids I was supposed to pick up. My kids, walking along the sidewalk of a major road. They looked up at the bus as we passed. The expressions weren't confused or angry. They were haunting, like they'd been left behind and knew exactly who did it. And the worst part? So did I. Too long did not read. My bus clock was running fast, so I accidentally showed up 3.5 minutes early to all my stops. I thought everything was just weirdly quiet until I saw kids sprinting to catch the bus at stop 9. Later, I drove past the ones I missed walking to school and got haunting looks of betrayal. I was the villain in their morning. Really, how does a bus clock even get that far off? It's kinda wild, and I guess my sense of time isn't always great either, so I can sympathize with the OP's chaotic morning. Am I really that old? What kid shows up to the bus stop as you're rolling up? 3.5 minutes early? My parents and all the kids I went to school with parents had us out there 15-20 minutes before. Which was fine because we were gonna shoot the shit or have that one pending fight. But you can't blame yourself for a fantastic traffic day. Them kids need to be standing by. My paranoid mother made me get to the bus stop at least 20 minutes early every day, rain or shine, snow or no. And up here in Maine, that was brutal. This was a good post. Haha, poor kiddos. Poor kids, hopefully they got to school safely. I mean that sucks, but also public transit buses run 5 minutes early and late all the time. Being literally 3.5 minutes early shouldn't be a problem. Also, it takes some time for kids to get on the bus, so if there were kids at the stop at all, it was more like 2 or 3 minutes early, tops. Too long did not read. Kids were cutting it real close. Today I fucked up by accidentally getting stoned at work. I work at a law firm. Boss keeps the windows open and I get really bad allergies in spring. Today I forgot my Zyrtec, so I was having really bad symptoms, like could not breathe bad. Boss was like, we have Benadryl. I've never taken Benadryl in my life. I figure how bad can it be? I take 2. I then read the package, may cause marked fatigue. I usually drink strong cold brew in the morning and I also take a daily steroid inhaler for chronic asthma, which can wire me so bad that I lose sleep. You can see where this is going. The combo of the coffee and inhaler and Benadryl is bad, Like I can't think and my hands are floppy bad. I feel like I ate a weed gummy. My boss is asking me to send important tax documents to high-powered attorneys and I'm sweating. I cannot read the documents because I'm living in the time dilation zone. I have been moving in slow motion since 9:30 a.m. I have no idea how I'm supposed to accomplish anything like this. I tried to pick up the phone earlier and failed 3 times because I kept dropping it. Coworkers think I'm actually high on real drugs. I cannot think. I'm going to cry. Too long did not read. I accidentally speedballed myself at work. Sounds like something you should tell the boss who gave you Benadryl. You need to tell your boss that you are having a bad reaction to the Benadryl and that you cannot work. Do not drive home like this. Have someone you trust pick you up and keep an eye on you if possible. It might be good to have someone more coherent call poison control to check on the medication interactions to see how serious it is. You freaking out about this is definitely making this worse probably. Can you just say you're not feeling well, go home, and sleep? Or tell your boss what's going on. I'll pop 2 of those bad boys when I want to get that good drool on my pillow sleep. You're in it the rest of the day, good luck. You, screen demon, this is for later you, but it may not be the combination of chemicals in your body. You might be one of the people who has a paradoxical reaction to Benadryl. A friend of mine has this and instead of getting sleepy like most people do she bounces around like a manic labradoodle. Like others have said, right now the important thing is to get home safely and take care of yourself. However, you can probably figure out why this might be important information to have going forward. Could be worse. I read farted instead of failed. So I thought on top of everything else, you were blasting farts out every time you tried to pick up the phone.